Hey guys, welcome back to the channel here in Overdrive Reviews. I am Alex, and today we are checking out the redesigned 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage. This happens to be the top of the line model, the SE. There are 4 trim levels, and all of them are pretty impressive this year. Mitsubishi has really stepped up their game and packed these cars with a lot of standard equipment that's pretty impressive. Things like a 7-inch touchscreen and forward collision mitigation are now standard across the entire Mirage lineup. It starts with the ES, the LE, then goes to what's called the Carbonite Edition, and then up to this SE. Let's also talk about why these cars are so popular. Great warranty, super affordable, and really economical, like 39 miles per gallon on the highway. So with this new redesign, there's a new front and rear fascia, more molded body panels, a really nice front lip spoiler, nice grille out front as well. So Mitsubishi has really kind of stepped up their game and their approach with the Mirage for the 2021 model year. But what else has changed? In this video today, we'll talk all about that. Is the engine different? Is that 3-cylinder engine any better? We'll talk about that as well, and maybe go over why we think this Mirage is probably the best one yet. Before we get going though, please subscribe to the channel below and hit this video with a big thumbs up. I think without further ado, let's get going. So I want to start today's video at the front of the car because this is what is the best and most visible and noticeable thing that's new and improved for the 2021 model year. Look at the front of this car. I'm not going to say it looks like some luxury sport exotic car, but Mitsubishi has done a really great job in updating the looks of this Mirage. The front of this now kind of matches the Eclipse Cross, the Outlander Sport, with kind of this hourglass type chrome shape. These little accent pieces make as well. This particular model, as I said, is the SE trim and has kind of these red accents throughout this razor style grille. Really nice, really aggressive. I love it actually. And from the front and the side, you can really see this front lip spoiler here. Every single one of these Mirages has a front lip spoiler no matter which one you get. The base one, the top of the model one. So every one kind of looks the same in the front except for these red accents, which are an option on this particular SE model. This one also has some LED lights up front, LED tail lights as well on the upgraded models. I think Mitsubishi really did a great job in making this car a little bit more aggressive and sporty compared to what it used to look like. I mean, look at this. The old Mirage looks a little bit different from this one. It was kind of plain Jane in the front, a big old honking grill. It kind of looked basic. It looks a lot better now here for the 2021 model year. This one also has fog lights as well. Forward collision mitigation systems built right in. They're standard across every Mirage. So under the hood of the 2021 Mirage, not a whole lot has changed. The same 1.2-liter 3-cylinder engine with 78 horsepower remains. 78 horsepower and 74 pound-feet of torque. Now, not terribly impressive at all, right? But this car is not meant for performance. It is meant for economic A to B transportation. Pretty simple stuff. What this engine, though, does really well is fuel economy. 39 combined highway city, about 36 in the city, 43 on the highway for a combined of 39. Not bad at all. It's one of the top performers in this subcompact class. What I've said before also about this engine is that I don't care for how whiny and kind of noisy it is. On startup, it sounds a little bit noisy, like this. And then when you hit it out on the highway to accelerate or, I don't know, be sporty on a back road or something, the engine is just not meant for speed or quick acceleration. I think the 0 to 60, I looked it up the other day, is about 13 seconds or something. It's not a quick car at all, but keep in mind that obviously is not the point of a car of this size and of this magnitude, I guess you could call it. But that being said, performance isn't always top of mind for most people. Some folks would love a 40 mile per gallon car, and that is what you'll get in the 2021 Mirage. All right, so down here at the wheels, I kind of don't mind these at all. These are 15-inch alloy rims that only come on the SE model. All the other models have 14-inch rims. Some are actual rims, some are like steel rims with hubcaps. These 15-inch ones only come on this SE model. Really nice 8-spoke dual-tone kind of rim, black finishing here on the inside. Disc brakes up front, drum brakes in the back. That's the same on every Mirage, I believe. I don't mind this at all, especially with this kind of like really nice kind of darker mustard yellow and these black and shiny chrome rims really kind of accent it nicely. I don't mind it at all. But again, if you really want these more aggressive, more updated, more luxurious looking rims, you're going to have to boost up to the SE model because they do not come on any of the other Mirage levels. So the side profile kind of looks the same as it has for the last couple years with the Mirage hatchback. Nothing's really changed there. What I do like about this SE model, it does have the turn signal indicators right there on the side mirror, which is great. These do fold in, obviously. They're not power, but they do fold in really nicely. They feel nice, too. They don't feel cheap. They feel really kind of hefty, which is great. I'm not a fan of how low these handles are to get into the door. I mean, I'm 6'2". Let's do it at my height. I have to like kind of bend down to actually open up the door, which I'm not a big fan of. Again, I know they're a small car, but the handles are just kind of in an awkward position for me. And also, how many handles are like designed like this now where you got to like put your hand up underneath and pull? It's kind of odd. It does have a nice little button to push for keyless entry and exit. And every single one of these Mirages for 2021 actually now comes with a spoiler in the back. Hatchback or sedan, they all come with a spoiler, regardless of what model you have, what model you buy, how sporty it is or isn't. They all have a spoiler, which again, maybe an attempt to make the car more competitive and more, I guess, aggressive up against the competitors. Things like the Nissan Versa, the Accent from Hyundai, the Spark even from Chevy. Yeah, don't mind it at all. Side profile doing all right. Got the gas tank there, got the drum brakes there in the back. Some black trim at the bottom, which I'm not a huge fan of. They could have made it all the same color, but overall, the side profile hasn't changed a whole lot, and I'm not mad about it. One thing you might notice too is just how much the engine kind of vibrates and shakes. I mean, look at it. It's sitting still. You see how much it's moving? And we're just sitting still. I mean, look at that. And same out back, actually. If you look at the tailpipe or the exhaust pipe here. Wait, let me get a good angle. Look at it. Nothing's wrong with the car. They all do this. It's just kind of small things like this that I wish wasn't a thing. All right, so we already showed you the front of the car for 2021, all the new stuff. Back here at the back, there's also some new stuff. The entire lower half is new as well. All of these carved out, molded body panels and designs are really, really great. I kind of like it. It's almost a little bit of an attempt at a rear diffuser here. Not really so much, but it kind of looks aggressive and again, more sporty. The big thing back here that is new, the black trim around both tail lights. This particular car does have LED lights on it. Not all of them have LED lights, but this SE trim does have them. Nice big black thick lines kind of wrap both of these, I don't know, kind of teardrop L-shaped lights that go around the side of the car and all the way, maybe an eighth of the way across on either side. The SE badging here, the Mitsubishi logo, of course. There's also a button back here instead of a keyhole to open up the trunk. You got your standard wiper as well. And then the one thing that I thought for sure they were going to change and address, this horrendous backup camera. They don't make any attempt to hide it at all. And I know it's kind of a shorter, smaller, closer to the ground car, so maybe putting it down here is too low, but this just looks like a wart on the back of this thing. Every single Mirage has the exact same backup camera, and it's been that way for years. I don't know why their engineers and designers haven't gotten rid of it yet, but it is still there. So every car does have them. The quality is pretty decent on the screen, on the inside, but I just cannot stand that big old blah staring at you on the back of these cars. All right, so while we're back here, let's go check out the cargo space in the back of this hatchback. 17.1 cubic feet of space is all that's back here. I think it pops up to about 47 point something cubic feet with the rear seats down. They do go down, not a ton of space. This is a rather deep kind of hole though. It's deeper than you think it might be. I mean, there's the edge and there's my arm. It's up to my elbow. So it's kind of a deep little cavern or cargo space right there. Not a ton to it though. It's kind of just a piece of carpet and that's it. There's no little storage areas on either side, unfortunately. And underneath here, there is a spare, I believe, in each one. Yep. Right there, spare tire. This kind of feels flimsy, this little piece that goes over it. It kind of just lays there, doesn't lock into place or anything. If you're going to be loading something kind of big or heavy, you might scrape the back of this if you're not careful. But getting things in here like groceries or some small bags for a weekend trip, a weekend getaway, shouldn't be difficult at all. Every one of these Mirage hatchbacks comes with a security cover as well, which is a nice little touch, and it's tethered right to the top. All right, so the rear seat of the 2021 hatchback kind of looks the same as it always has feel-wise. What's really nice, though, about this particular SE trim is that this has really, really pretty kind of like flannel stitched inserts around some faux leather on the outside. These seats actually look really, really nice for being in a entry-level subcompact car, right? I love the kind of black and white and red design. Very flannel, very Scottish kind of looking, actually, if you ask me. And the other material definitely is not real leather, but it feels really nice. It's high quality. It doesn't feel cheap at all. I do like the stitching with the white on the outsides of the, I guess, faux leather trim. It's really, really decent, and it feels really nice as well. These rear seats, I have this seat right here kind of a little bit closer to the steering wheel than I would actually drive myself. So there's not as little room back here as you would think. There's actually a little bit more than I was expecting. That being said, three of me probably cannot sit back here. 3 6'2" folks could not do this because it's kind of cramped, and also a little bit of headroom issue as well, depending on how you sit. I would sit like this in the sides of the car where it kind of like swoops down, really is what kind of hits you. The middle actually is not bad at all. So room back here, definitely perfect for kids, maybe even a shorter adult, but that's kind of the beauty of hatchbacks. There's always more room in them than you actually think there's going to be. So a job well done. I think the only thing I could use back here is a USB or some kind of, like, I don't know, a light or something. There's no handles either to get into the car or get out of the car. Other than that, a pretty basic and simple rear seat that I don't mind at all. So getting into the car with these very low situated handles is kind of easy, just more annoying than anything, especially if you're tall. But the inside actually isn't as subcompact in economy as you might think. As I move the seat back to get a better angle here for you, the driver's seat is kind of a comfortable, aesthetically pleasing place to be. I don't really mind it one bit. Please forgive the very bright sun right now. It's kind of making this tough to film. But let's start over here. Some of those safety features that now are standard across all Mirages, you can see here. The one that is on every Mirage is this, the frontal crash mitigation or forward collision mitigation, whatever you want to call it, right there. This SE trim does have lane departure warning as well. All cars have this, the stability control as well. You got your mirror button there. Not a big fan of all the plastic everywhere, but again, you're buying a $19,000 car. It's not going to have crazy wood trim or leather or soft padding, but there is soft padding right here. Actually, it's not bad at all. Perfect for your arm to rest on. Steering wheel, pretty basic. You've got your volume over on this side. You've got your cruise control over here. The steering wheel feels nice and firm. Most of the steering wheels are pretty much the same no matter what trim you get. This one does have kind of some glossy black finish here around the bottom part. I do wish that this was a place you could like put your thumb or your other fingers through to kind of like hold it like this. Holding it like this is kind of weird. I love having my fingers go through one or two little open areas to kind of grip the steering wheel better, but you know, that's a minor detail. Up here, the speedometer actually is new. I'm going to try to find an old picture or an old video of what the Mirage speedometer used to look like, and this actually might just be an SE trim feature, but I do like kind of the update to this. Before, it was so generic and so basic. basic. I really don't mind the look of this speedometer and everything. It's kind of got all your basic stuff right there where you need it. And the car's not on yet, but there is the nice 7-inch touchscreen that every single Mirage now has. We'll get a better view of this once the sun decides to cooperate with me here. But the car is not on. Let's start it. And also, too, most buttons are over here to start a car. No. They're doing this Porsche style over here on the left side. Yeah, a little bit of a noisy engine there, but the car is now finally on. 13 miles on this baby, brand new. Yeah, a little loud. But I like the touchscreen. It's actually really responsive too. You can kind of touch things and they go right away to where they should go. Old touchscreens in cars like this, so antiquated. And this one is not bad. Has your phone right here, music as well. You can lighten this up for daytime, nighttime usage, whatever you want. Your home button up top. You can't do a ton of things with this, but you got Bluetooth, AM, FM setup, phone as well. Pretty decent for a $19,000 car. And down here there is automatic climate control as well. You can see these control buttons are pretty easy to use. They're not terribly exciting other than temperature, fan speed, different modes. You got air conditioning as well. The vents up here are nice. They move really far as directing the air where you want it. They go to and fro pretty nicely. They move up and down. They don't feel cheap at all. They actually feel really nice, really decent here in the center. These ones over here close entirely. You can pop those open and kind of twist them the entire way around. They're really great. The vents are really, really decent, actually. So nice heat, nice air conditioning whenever you do need it. Down here below all of this, let's get the lighting correct again. The heated seat buttons, I've said this before in my Mirage reviews, they need to be updated. These things look like little chocolate bars that you get in your stocking at Christmas. They're just clunky and ridiculous. They can be more flush with the surrounding area. They can look better. Either way, this car does have heated seats. Not every Mirage has them. It is an option. You got your USB port down here as well. I think there is only one USB port in this car, which is kind of odd. But then right beneath that, obviously, we have the gear shifter, which is nothing super special. It's wrapped in leather there, I believe, or a leather-like material. Glossy black finish here on the gears themselves, or the different positions for the gear shifter. Down here you got the DS for sport. Like I said, we'll test that out momentarily when we take this thing out on the road, but not a ton of sport to this car. Another thing I wanted to mention, up top, no sunroof. You cannot get a sunroof on a Mirage, which kind of sucks. If I was looking for a Mirage, I would definitely want a sunroof, but you cannot get one. So, yeah, just a little FYI. Still no lights in these sun visors, vanity mirrors, whatever you want to call them. No mirror on this one at all, which people have made fun of me for pointing out in the past, but I don't care. I think there should be a light and a mirror on each one. How else are you supposed to, how do you look if you can't tell, right? I really think that these seats themselves are really, really decent. I love this kind of, like I said in the back, the nice black, white, and red design. They really look upscale for a car of this price point. They look really nice. Mitsubishi did a nice job kind of getting some nice quality materials in here to make these seats look halfway decent. I wish there was actually more of this trim, of this black trim. I wish there was more of it throughout the car, like maybe an accent there on the door panel or something where your hand or your arm rests, or maybe a quick stitch of it right here above the glove box. But there's not, which is okay, but I think that'd be a great styling cue, a great design cue for future models and ideas. It doesn't look horrible. It's all black. A lot of plastic there as well. A lot of plastic obviously up on the dashboard. Leave some finger marks. If you've been in cars like this before, you know that kind of like your skin almost like rolls off of you and the oils kind of stay put as well. It gets marked up and scuffed pretty easily, so you got to be aware of that. So what might not be so obvious in these Mirages is how to adjust the frontal crash mitigation sensitivity. Like how close can you get before it kicks in and says, hey, you're getting too close? Down here, push the button, right? Just push it once and watch where the miles are. Yeah, little ends pop up with little increments. You can get far away, medium far away, and pretty close. So essentially, it's how far the car or object in front of you can be before the system lets you know, hey, you're getting too close. So out on the road, the Mirage is not bad at all. It's a small car, as we said. It's a slow car, as I've said. 78 horsepower. You're not getting anywhere quick. But the steering wheel feels nice. The steering response feels great. The brakes feel good. They grip fast. There's not a lot of car to actually stop, so that's not surprising. But the brakes feel nice. They don't travel far as your foot on the pedal. It feels decent. What I don't like about this steering wheel, though, is that whenever you turn around a corner or turning to get out of a spot or something like that, the steering wheel doesn't go back to dead center on its own really at all. It kind of stays cockeyed to the left or to the right, depending on what way you just had it turned. It's kind of weird. It kind of stays off center, and I don't know why. I don't think it's just this car. I've driven one or two other Mirages, and they all do it. So I'm not really a big fan of having to make sure the steering wheel gets back to dead center on its own. It's kind of a trivial thing to compliment or to comment on, but here in some back road driving, here's a corner. It feels nimble, a little bit of body roll in the turn. Let's try this one here, let's see. Sorry about all the sun, by the way. Not bad. I mean, it definitely is noisy whenever you hit the gas. It's definitely a little bit noisy wind-wise out on the highway. You can hear a lot of the wind and the breeze going by you. But I gotta say, it's not a bad ride really at all. A little bit jumpy and jerky over some bumps and imperfections and things like that. But overall, it's kind of a surprisingly nice ride. Listen to the engine. Yeah, like I just floored it and we went, what, 100 feet or something? So the engine, again, if that's a big no-no for you, then this car maybe is not the best choice. But the steering response is actually really good. I don't have any complaints there as far as the car goes, right exactly where you point it to. I really do like the legroom that I have as the driver here. The driver's seat armrest is actually really great to have in this car. Both sides don't have an armrest, but for the middle section where there's no center console or big storage space where you would normally put your arm, it's great that this SE comes with a built-in armrest. It actually is kind of a savior, especially on longer trips, but even over these bumpy kind of country roads, it's been great to have a place to rest my arm. It is an option. It is not on every single Mirage, but this SE does have one. And the ride overall is acceptable, I would say. It's not stellar. You're not in some luxurious German sports car by any means, but you're also not getting what you would maybe think in your mind as a bargain basement type of ride, and you're getting bargain basement prices with these Mirages. They're super affordable, super inexpensive. A little jittery and jumpy, as I said, over some bumps. The imperfections you definitely feel, and definitely some wind noise with the lack of padding. Yeah, it's noisy. I'm only going, what? I'm only going 50, and it's pretty noisy in here. Let's do a quick acceleration in sport mode, just to give you an idea what it drives like. Ready? Hit it. We just hit 60. Oh my Lord. Yeah, loud, rickety, not refined at all. Woo! And that was in sport mode. Jeez, with only me in the car. Yeah. So there's that. Oh man. It's much more nimble and sturdy than I guess I anticipated, which is nice. A little bit of body roll, as I said before, in the turns, but that's to be expected with this car. Kind of as this car is kind of like top heavy but leaning forward all at the same time. It's kind of weird. Here's a big turn. Woo! Pretty decent. Wasn't going that fast, but I know I feel comfortable in the car just by myself driving. There are 7 airbags as well. 7 airbags all around, including a driver knee airbag, which is great. Not every car has that. Let's go. Come on. Yeah, and safety-wise too, this car does have the lane departure warning. There's no blind spot monitoring on this particular one, but that is an option on some of the cars. I believe you can add it. I'm not sure how much it is, but you can add blind spot monitoring if you want it. There's also parking sensors that you can add, some ambient lighting on the inside, a lot of things you can add on to obviously boost the price. But overall, it's already a pretty amenity-heavy little car, in my opinion. Now, I think if you have 5 people in this car plus luggage, you're going to be struggling on some of these backcountry roads or some of these mountain roads, wherever you go. Maybe cruising on highway speeds, you'll be fine because you're at a consistent speed. But getting up and going with more weight in this thing, I could definitely see that being a challenge. And of course, your miles per gallon will also suffer. But overall, and a reminder too, every new Mitsubishi comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain new car warranty. So you're protected for a long, long time in these things. There's also like 5 years unlimited miles roadside assistance, which is great. So there's such peace of mind with every brand new Mitsubishi that you buy, including obviously all of these Mirages. So in all, a really affordable, inexpensive car that is not a performance car by any means, but if you mean performance as far as fuel economy, then it does really well. Affordable, easy to own, easy to maintain, inexpensive to maintain and own as well, as I said before. And these seats, by the way, are actually pretty comfortable. They're not bad at all. They're very nice and foamy feeling, very cushiony. They're not super bolstered. They don't really hold you in place all that well, but you're not going to be going all that fast. But they're nice. They're really kind of upscale compared to what Mirages of the past have offered. And again, this is the upgraded interior with the SE trim level, so the you know, the cloth and the overall feel might be a little bit higher end than the base model, but the seats are not uncomfortable at all. They're 6-way adjustable on the driver's seat, 4-way adjustable on the passenger seat, no power on either one, but both heated, remember that as well. So let's go over pricing again while we're here in this SE out on the road. The ES, the base model, $14,295 for the manual, $15,595 for the automatic. The LE, the $16,220 starting price, and the Carbonite Edition, $16,995. Then the SE, which is this one here, $17,445 is what this one starts at. But this one stickers, this particular one stickers for about $19,400 or $500, I believe. Any of the cars that have manual, you can upgrade to the CVT, the continuously variable transmission, the automatic transmission, for about $1,300. And I want to thank the folks at Platinum Mitsubishi on the Carlisle Pike in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. You can visit them at creditpa.com. Tons of vehicles there. But that is today's review of this 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage hatchback, the SE. Thank you all so much for following along here. Let us know in the comments below if you've got one of these Mirages, what you do and don't like about it, what you like about the new refreshed front and rear of this car, what you like about the new standard safety features. There's a lot to like in these for 2021, and I feel like Mitsubishi really stepped up to the plate and gave consumers more bang for their buck. Please like this video and hit subscribe to Overdrive Reviews below, and also follow us on Instagram. We post a lot of stuff there at Overdrive Reviews. You can hit us up on Instagram, let us know what you're doing off air as well. We'd love to hear from you. But that is it for today. We will see all of you next time.